If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, back on the show is Casey Kenney, the victorious Casey Kenney. He said he was going to go into UFC 241 and take another 0, and that's exactly what he did. He defeated Manny Bermudez via unanimous decision. Huge win for Casey Kenney. This man is on the come-up. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. In Las Vegas, just enjoying myself for a couple days, and we're about to head – well, actually, we're heading back today. So, just enjoying life.
What are you doing out in Vegas? Just enjoying the PI since you were in the area?
My coach, Chris Carriasso, actually, and a couple guys from the gym had a competition, Master Worlds, IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu competition. So I just came out to watch and hang out.
And just enjoy Vegas a little bit?
Just enjoy Vegas a little bit. So
celebrate the win.
Yep.
Absolutely. So you said the last time we spoke that you just love taking people's zeros. You did it again last weekend at UFC 241. Considering everything that went into this fight, the opponent, and we'll talk about what happened on Friday as well. But is this the sweetest 0 you've taken in your career, you think?
Yeah, man. The big one in LFA, taking Vince's 0, the knockout was huge, but this one was big. 14-0, 3 submissions in the UFC, undefeated in the UFC, 3 finishes. And I came in and, made his grappling not look so good. I felt like, I showed that he's a submission basically like what I said, he's a submission specialist, but there's a lot more to just grabbing people's necks.
Let's talk about Friday, a week ago today, as a matter of fact, because it's Friday right now. But I saw Brett Okamoto's tweet. He tweets out that the UFC has made the decision to bump the fight up to a catchweight at 140 pounds. And we've seen the reports from the commission that Manny was weighing in excess of 164 pounds on fight night. So talk about what happened on Friday. Did you know about this before Friday, or did this something that happened Friday morning before the weigh-ins?
So it was, Friday morning, Thursday night, 1 a.m., I got a phone call. Said basically he's 143. They're cutting him off. He's going to only make 140. They're not going to let him attempt to go any lower than that. What do you want to do? I was like, well, he makes 140. We'll fight. You know what I mean? And honestly, if we would have fought anyways. I just wanted to make him suffer just a little bit more. Before that happened. But yeah, he made 140 like he said he would. And got up, got the last couple off, and then we fought.
Were you surprised that you got that call, or is that something you sort of mentally played out in your mind that you may get a call like that?
I played it out. I told my coach all week, I was like, he's not making weight. I could feel it, something about it, I could feel it. And I was talking about it, and we actually walked down to the gas station to grab some some late night snacks. At that point, it was just really some nuts and stuff. But we're walking back, and that was when I got the call. And then just my manager was like, "Hey, you need to come meet me in the lobby and talk to our, we need to talk about some stuff." And I thought Manny was going to the hospital, with because of the weight cut or something. So the worst hopped in my head right away, and I was like, "Well, if he doesn't fight, then we did our part." But thankfully, it was just him, saying that he couldn't make the actual weight class, still going to fight. That was the main thing, is I just want to fight.
Was there any kind of discussion? I'm sure with you, there was no chance that you were pulling out of this fight or not fighting him. Was there any discussion about purse or anything like that? How did that all go down?
Yeah, we took some of his purse. I won't say exactly how much, but let's say I got paid.
All right. And you got paid with a nice little win bonus on Saturday, which probably means more than anything.
Bonus too, so it was a good trip. It was a good day. Team 3 checks.
It was a fantastic performance. You look great. I think you opened up a lot of people's eyes. Did you feel like you were getting overlooked in this fight? Manny is one of those guys, 14-0, the 3 finishes, and a lot of the fans were seeing you for the second time. They saw you in the Borg fight. Some of them may not even know you were coming off another fight, off a title fight on 5-6 days notice. Now you get a full camp. Did you feel like you were being a little undervalued in this fight?
Yeah, a little bit, but I understand his hype. You know what I mean? I understand what he had behind him, and I understand why people were saying what they were going to say. But I fought a lot of really tough dudes, and I think, he only got his hand around my neck a couple times. My grappling, my submission defense is top notch, and I got to really prove that. But I do feel like I was overlooked a little bit. But I guess I can't blame anybody about that, because on paper, that is what it showed, that Manny was the guy to do it. And unfortunately, we fight. We don't write papers, so we got to solve that.
Did anything surprise you in that fight? Because it seemed like you mapped it out pretty clearly when we spoke. It almost went exactly the way you thought it would. Did anything surprise you once you were actually in the fight with him?
Yeah, I didn't expect him to pressure me as much. I thought I was going to be able to back him up a little bit with my strikes, and that was going to be how I kind of kept him off of me. But, I expected him to be tough. I expected him to grab a hold of me. So everything really went as planned. I expected him to grab my neck when I tried to get up. And that was, kind of in the third round where I didn't explode up a lot in the third. One, he wasn't really committing too much, but two, he wanted me to explode up, catch my neck there in the third round. So, and the ref had warned him a couple times to, push the action. So I figured my safest way up in the third round is to have the ref stand us up too. But, kind of like I said, everything went as planned. But I would say, if anything, I expected, his striking, his punches weren't hard or anything, but I expected him to back up a little bit more once I started landing. And, he took it and came forward.
With that fight, obviously being on ESPN, leading into the biggest card of the year, has life changed a little bit? Has your social media exploded a little bit more than it was before?
Yeah, definitely. It always explodes after I fight, but it's definitely wild. If anyone's watching this and I haven't responded to a text message, you're not the only one. I got like 200 unread messages, my DMs full on Instagram. So it's like, it's crazy. It's not super crazy. I haven't, exploded with like hundreds of thousands of followers, but there's definitely a lot of people that are taking notice.
I saw in your post-fight, MSG is what you're looking for. You called your shot, and you should call your shot. The Fabers, the Frankie Edgars. I like the call-out. I think MSG is a good spot for you. You fought on the biggest card of the year. Why not fight in the world's most famous arena, right?
Exactly, dude, exactly. And, that's the card that I want to be on. The Frankie Edgar, Uriah Faber. Probably need a couple more fights, but, you got to reach for the stars and the call-outs as well. So, definitely MSG. I'm pushing for that hard. I want a top, more realistically, probably a top 15. And I called it out. I want a striker. I proved I can grapple. I want somebody that's, we're in MMA. We do it all, but somebody that's not gonna hesitate to stand there and duke it out with me. That's the kind of fight I want to get in. I think that's a fight that could really explode. I've showed that I can handle Goliath in there. But if I could, get another highlight reel knockout in the UFC, I think that's where I'm headed for next. And I'd like a guy that'll stand up and bang with me. Or if we end up, like Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero, that's the kind of fight I'm trying to get in.
I know Thomas Almeida is looking to get back at the end of this year. Maybe, I don't know if November is going to be too soon, but that could be a fun one for you.
That could be a fun one. We were just looking at the top 15, and that was definitely a guy that was up there. So, much respect to him. I've watched him come up, straight killer. So that's that's a great fight. I love it.
You just got a little giddy just thinking about it.
Yeah. That's a fight that I would love. Especially his come up. He was whatever, he had a couple losses here and there, but he was like 27-1, or maybe not that crazy, but I forget his record. But he only had like one loss, or he was undefeated, and his come up was strong.
That fight at MSG, I think people would be very excited to see that. When do you go back to the regular grind of everything, back to the gym and stuff like that? You get to take a little more time off, or?
I actually did before I came here. I went back to training on Tuesday, put the gi on, rolled around. Nothing too hard, and then Wednesday I came here to Vegas. So Monday I went and spent some time with my parents and family at Newport Beach, and then Tuesday I got back in the gym, started training. So that's normal. I like to at least do like a day or two, and then kind of see how the body feels, and then and go from there. But I'll be back in the gym tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow. It's Saturday, but maybe maybe do a little something. Get back to it. Get started. I always like to train. It's people talk about like hobbies and stuff, and it's like I'm living my hobby. I live every second of my life doing what I want. So it's what I love to do, man.
What's the message to the rest of the bantamweight division after that win? I'm sure they were all eyes upon both of you guys. I think you shocked a lot of people with that performance. I know you didn't shock yourself with that performance, but
right.
What's the message for the rest of those guys that are like, oh, this guy's another one we got to pay attention to?
Right, I'm the real deal, and I've snatched a lot of belts outside the UFC, and that's what I'm after. It's definitely here for the long haul, so no rush, but. I think everybody realized that this guy's a force to be reckoned with in the bantamweight division too. So get ready, and if you want it, you can come get it.
All right, Casey Kenney coming off his big win over Manny Bermudez at UFC 241. He's out to eat right now. I'm not gonna take up much more of his time.
Oh, you're good, man.
I know, man. I still feel bad. That's just who I am. I see. I saw the booth behind you. I'm like, oh man, I'm interrupting his lunch.
No, you're
breakfast.
good. We just put an order in, so it was a perfect timing. So
we're good.
Food hasn't even come. So
on social media, I know a lot of them have already jumped on, but let's get them jumping on. Where can they find and follow you? Any shout outs, anything else you want to get off your chest, man? The floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure. So you can follow me at CKMMA135 on Instagram and Twitter, and then Casey Kenney on Facebook. But just thankful for everybody that's around me. The support system, even the little trolls getting in there talking some crap, even like those guys as well. It's all part of it. So the training camps, coaches, managers, all that good stuff. Just thankful for everybody that's a part of my team.
Congratulations, Casey. Thank you for the time. It means a lot that you'd take some time out during your lunch. I mean, you don't feel bad. You think it's okay. I feel a little rotten. I'm not gonna lie, but I appreciate it.
For sure, man.
Thanks,
Hey,
man.
have a good one, dude.